my name is Michelle, and I want to welcome you all to my new YouTube channel, Embrace the Wait. I am so excited that you all have come to join me today, as I'm just kind of gonna just share like a basis of Embrace the Wait and kind of like an intro video, because I feel like a lot of people have questions like, Embrace the Wait, like why did you start doing this? So this is never something that I wanted to do. I'm someone who's very much to myself. I'm very much quiet, and I kind of always felt like the words that I had to say nobody wanted to hear, nor did anyone want to listen to. So I kind of always kept quiet and to myself, but I believe that God is allowing me to be able to kind of share in the things that He has guided me through. And I believe it's through YouTube, especially for myself. I'm not really a social media gal. I kind of always thought negatively about social media, but I believe that I had to be reminded that social media is a way for us to continue to just reach those that maybe we can't reach in the capacity that we're in right now. Like, I don't have money right now to go reach someone in Asia. I don't have money right now to go reach someone in Europe. So I believe that God has called me to such a time as this, and even sharing in the things that He's called me to share, kind of like on a grander scale. And I believe it's through social media. And again, I do feel like a lot of people have things that they want to say, and just like I always tell people, test every spirit. I'm always telling people that. And even when I share things with them, I'm like, test every spirit. Even when it comes to the things that I share, ask the Holy Spirit to lead you, even in what I said. Ask God to give you guidance, even in the things that He allowed me to share with you, to know like, okay, why did Michelle share this with me? Can you give me understanding on this, that, or the third? And I'm always telling people that test every spirit, to know whether it's of God or whether it's not, to know whether it's the Holy Spirit or just a spirit, because I believe that's also important. And that's even for myself, especially when it comes to, hearing people on social media. And I do believe like a lot of people have different opinions. And I believe this channel will also be just kind of like topics God allows me to bring up, and just sharing even in my opinion and how I feel about certain topics. But if you look at my YouTube banner, it says, kind words are like honey, sweet for the soul and healthy for the body. And that verse in the Bible is kind of a staple for me, because it just kind of reminds me just kind of how beautiful God is in that way, that our kind words can literally be soothing to somebody. And I want my kind words to be soothing to someone, and I want your kind words to also be soothing to me as well, as I want this channel to be a channel of kind words. And as I believe the Lord spoke to my heart, even in what I believe the channel can also help in, as I share in all the things of beauty of embracing the wait when it comes to what God has for you. Not just embracing the wait when it comes to relationships, but even embracing the wait when it comes to your job, embracing the wait when it comes to your family, embracing the wait when it comes to your kids, embracing the wait just when it comes to your health, but just trusting in what God is doing in this season of your life, as I believe that God continues to remind us that He's doing a new thing in every season of our lives. If we continue to just ask Him, Lord, continue to give me a new perspective. Give me a new perspective, Lord, in what you are doing. Because I do think a lot of times we always ask the Lord why questions, like, God, why is this happening? God, why did you allow this? God, why? And there are moments where I stopped asking why questions, and I started asking the Lord, what are you trying to show me in this season of my life? God, what are you trying to show me about me in this season of my life, that you have allowed me to go through this path? And I believe when it came to Embrace the Wait, He has done just that. As you can see, even on my Instagram and even behind me, like, there's butterflies. God has continued to show me butterflies, especially when it came to Embrace the Wait. And I asked the person to do like the logo for me. I just wanted a butterfly, and I've always loved butterflies, just kind of, they're just so beautiful. And I've always loved butterflies, even when people ask me. It was even to the point where God continued to show me butterflies. It was either butterflies on people's clothing, butterflies on people's jewelry, butterflies on people's cars, butterflies on people's phones. It was to the point I said, Lord, why do I keep seeing butterflies? Because I don't think it's a coincidence why I continue to see butterflies, especially when Embrace the Wait there's like a butterfly on it. And I said, Lord, am I just thinking too deep? Because I literally had to ask that question. I said, God, am I thinking too deep? Am I thinking too much? Like what? Like, I don't know. Sometimes how you can kind of just push and pry a little too hard and be like, But no, like, God reminded me there's a purpose as to why I was seeing butterflies. And even now I'm continuing to see butterflies. But on April 1st, as I begun sharing my testimony, kind of with the close people around me, God spoke to my heart on April 1st that day. The Holy Spirit spoke to me in such a way that it just made me feel like, whoa. Like I just had to stop and start writing it down. So when I went to the well experience, I saw on my friend's dress, she had a bunch of butterflies. And in that experience, in the well experience, it was just a nice, peaceful time to just be still with the Father, to just be still with God, and just to hear, and just to take the time to just be in his presence. And as I was doing that and we were listening to worship music, I saw on her dress, butterflies. And I said, okay. I said, Lord, why do I keep seeing butterflies? And in that moment, the Holy Spirit spoke to me ever so clearly. And he said, you have been in your cocoon for too long. And that spoke to my heart in such a way that it seems unexplainable for me, because that was kind of like the staple of my life, because I've always been someone who's been in her shell. I've always been someone who's kind of been boxed up and felt like no one, I'm just here, like no one wants to, see me, like no one wants to talk to me, no one wants to even hear what I have to say. My voice is very, squeaky, very high. Again, when people make fun of my voice, I'm like, listen, these are things that I've already said about myself, like it's okay. It's literally to the point when, as he continued to speak to my heart about that, it was just to the point of, wow, like God is continuing to do a transformative work in me. And when I kind of had just kind of like the narrative of a butterfly, it was just to live my life in knowing that God no longer wants me to be in the cocoon of my past. He no longer wants me to live in the cocoon of my shame, but he wants me to kind of blossom and to literally be a vibrant, bold, and courageous butterfly. That when you see, every time I see a butterfly, you kind of just look at it. Like whenever you see a butterfly, there's just something peaceful and beautiful, but then there's also something that catches your attention when you see a butterfly. And I believe the Lord continued to just remind me of that, as I believe that this channel is going to be a channel that God is going to continue to lead, as I continue to ask him. And I said, Holy Spirit, lead the conversation. Holy Spirit, lead the topics, as I don't want it to be myself that's leading it. I want you to lead it. And I believe that he's continuing to do just that, as I continue to live my life for the Lord, not living in fear of what the enemy got going on or what anybody else has going on, because God continued to remind me of this question, and the question continued to present itself in front of me, and it was, who do you fear more? Do you fear man more, or do you fear me more? And as I begun to even start this channel, it was really in my mind like, God, I fear you more. I want to walk in obedience. I want to walk into the very places and spaces that you have for me to walk in, that I don't want to just go throughout my life and being so scared and living in timidity because of what people have to say, but knowing that, God, as you call me to do it, I'm going to do it. And so I was like, this is one thing, Lord, I want to continue to walk in obedience in, because I believe that there is something so beautiful about when you obey God, and his word says, if you love me, you obey my commands. You obey my commands. And so for myself, I said, Lord, I want to obey you. God, when you say to do it, Lord, I want to learn and continue to try my best to do the very thing that you're calling me to do. And this channel is literally solely on faith and obedience. That's literally what it is. It's not for me to gain anything out of this or anything. It's literally solely for the purpose of glorifying God. That as the Lord has called me to such a time as this, I said, Lord, I'm going to obey. I'm going to listen to your call. I'm going to accept the call, and I'm going to do what you have called me to do, because I believe he has spoke to my heart, and it's given me such a passion to even do this channel, as I do believe that this channel will be able to also be a staple for testimonies, that just as God has continued to allow me to heal and grow for my testimony, I believe even for other people, I believe God is even going to do that through this channel, as I continue to just let him lead me. I pray that you all just continue to just go on this journey with me. Give me grace on certain things. And of course, if you disagree with certain things that I do say, again, these are just my opinions. But I pray that even as you do disagree, that your words are kind words, that you continue to just, even if it's something that you're writing in the comments, I pray that it's something that uplifts other people, that it's not something that is meant to cause somebody harm. You know, as his word says, our words should be used to build other people up, not tear other people down. And I pray that your very words are used to build other people up. Even if someone may not agree in something that I say, you can write it and say, hey, you know, Sechelle, I don't agree with this, that, or the third, because at the end of the day, these are my opinions. These are things that I believe the Lord has led me to share with you all. And if it's something that maybe I didn't get right in, that's okay, and it's okay for you to let me know. But also, it should be in kind words, because I do believe that is another thing that is a staple for this channel. It's kind words. It's something that we're allowing to live in the love of Christ. And even in the love of Christ, if it's something that, okay, Sechelle, I'm sharing with this in you, okay, Sechelle, I'm sharing this with you in love, then okay. But I do pray that this channel will continue to just be just a time of just uplifting for you guys, as the Holy Spirit allows me to lead certain conversations and lead certain topics. But I'm very, very excited, again, that you all have joined me on this day. And I pray that prayerfully you enjoy the rest of your day. I pray that God continues to just do a work on the inside of you. And I pray that as we continue to grow together, I pray that we all just continue to embrace the wait, as we wait for the things that God has for us, even as it begins to allow us to boldly share in the very things that God has brought us from and healed us in. And I pray that in this season of your life, that you continue to embrace the wait, because there's beauty in God. There's so much beauty and grace as we continue to live a life of holiness for Him, as we live a life that's set apart, as we don't look like the world, but we continue to walk, as we say that we're Christians, that we continue to know that we're followers and believers of Jesus Christ, that we believe in His word and in His teachings, but we also follow in the example of Christ, that we also continue to be the example for other people in the way that we love one another. And His word says that they'll know that you're my disciples by the love that you have one for another. So I pray that we all continue to walk in the way that God has called us to love one another in. And so continue to just embrace the wait in this season of your life. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. And I'm so glad that you guys have joined me today on Embrace the Wait.